Look closely at this canvas. Every soul in this room sees a struggle for survival. But what if I told you they are all already dead? Thousands of people stand before Géricault's masterpiece every day, but they miss the cruel jest hidden in the wind. Focus on the horizon. See that tiny speck of hope? Now look at the sail. The wind is not pulling them toward the ship. It is pushing them deeper into the abyss. This is not a painting of rescue. It is a monument to a slow, agonizing end. Géricault didn't just paint a tragedy. He painted a censured nightmare that the French government tried to bury forever. Let us peel back the layers of the Medusa, starting with the base of this rotting timber, where the water doesn't just touch the wood, it swallows the evidence of a crime too dark for the history books. Look at the man in the lower left, cradling his dead son, while his own legs are being licked by the salt of the Atlantic. This is phase 1 of our descent into the shadows. Stay with me, because what lies beneath these bodies is far more sinister than the storm itself. Géricault did not just use paint for this masterpiece, he used reality. To capture the true essence of death, he turned his studio into a morgue. He collected severed limbs and kept decomposing bodies under his bed, just to study the exact shade of decaying flesh. Look at the graying skin of the man draped over the edge. That is not an artist's imagination. That is a shadow of a real corpse. Géricault kept in his sight for weeks. But the true horror is not in the rot. It is in what these men did to survive. History says there were 150 souls on this raft, but after 13 days, only 15 remained. Ask yourself, where did the others go? Look at the shadows between the survivors. Notice the lack of food, the lack of water. And yet, some of them look strangely fed. The French government wanted to silence this story because it exposed a truth too hideous for the public. A truth of cowardice, where the elite took the lifeboats and left the poor to feast on each other. Géricault is forcing you to look at the cannibalism they tried to hide. It is written in the guilt of the man who stares directly at us, his eyes hollow, his soul permanently stained by the taste of his comrades. Beyond the madness and the hunger, there is a final, hidden betrayal. Géricault built this composition as a cruel pyramid, a mountain of flesh reaching for a sky that has turned its back on them. But look at the very apex, the man waving the cloth. He is the symbol of a false hope. If you trace the line of his arm, it leads your eye to the ship Argus, a speck so small it feels like a mirage. Now look at the base of that pyramid, at the people who have given up. Notice the man in the shadows, the one whose face is hidden. Géricault painted himself into this hell. He is the one who saw the truth and couldn't look away. This painting was his obsession. He shaved his head, locked himself in his room, and surrendered to the same madness that consumed the survivors. The Medusa was not just a ship, it was the French monarchy, rotting from the inside out, abandoning its people to the waves. But wait, look at the very edge of the raft, where the wood meets the dark water. There is a shadow that doesn't belong to any body. A phantom presence that Géricault added at the last moment, as if the ghosts of the eaten were still clinging to the timber, waiting for the living to join them in the depths. This is the final layer, the realization that even if the ship arrives, none of these men truly left that raft alive.